He was a large, athletic man of a strong constitution, a committeeman, treasurer, assessor, and selectman in Menotomy, Massachusetts, a husband, a father, a grandfather, and the bravest soldier the United States has ever seen. Whittemore is noted for taking a brave and honorable stand in history against the British troops on April 19, 1775. Samuel Whittemore was born in England on July 27, 1695. He lived in Menotomy, Massachusetts, present-day Arlington, Massachusetts, with his two wives by the names of Elizabeth Spring and Esther Prentice, whom he married after the death of Spring, 3 sons, 5 daughters, and many grandchildren. Whittemore was a true family man. Besides that, Whittemore played a great and important role in his community. It has been recorded that Whittemore was appointed to a committee to draft a petition for lands and estates belonging to a neighboring town to be integrated into a separate district. He is also cited as being a member of a committee that regulated the schools in his community. Whittemore is remembered as a prominent citizen of the 2nd Precinct in Cambridge where he lived, and for being a progenitor of a great portion of the Whittemore clan that lives there to present day. In addition to his great societal contributions, Whittemore was a decorated military veteran and had a great pride in his country. He fought first in the French and Indian War in 1754, aiding in the capture of the French stronghold, Fort Louisburg. Whittemore found himself still fighting at 64 years old. He strongly believed in American independence and had a great hope that his descendants would be able to enact their own laws and not be subject to a distant king. Whittemore goes down in history as a brave soldier with a deeply rooted pride in America, but he is best known for his bravery on April 19, 1775. It was on April 19, 1775 that the American Revolution officially began. The American Revolution was a result of the imbalance of power between the 13 colonies and Great Britain, their mother country. Great Britain imposed unfair laws on the colonies to maintain control over the colonists and denied them representation in the British Parliament. The laws created by Parliament seemed to only benefit the British at the cost of the colonists. The colonists were angry and organized violent protests. These protests ultimately led to the start of the Revolutionary War on April 19, 1775, at the battles of Lexington and Concord. On this day, General Gage, an infamous British general, had a plan to send British soldiers quartered in Boston during the night to Lexington to capture Sam Adams and John Hancock, 2 very important players on the American side, and to Concord to seize gunpowder and weaponry. When the American spies learned of Gage's intentions, William Dawes, Dr. Samuel Prescott, and Paul Revere rode on horseback throughout the countryside to warn the people that the British soldiers, also known as the regulars, were coming. When Whittemore's wife heard of the anticipated arrival of the regulars, she and her family closed themselves in one of her son's homes to wait out the fighting and violence that was sure to ensue. Samuel Whittemore, on the other hand, patriarch of the Whittemore clan and spirited American revolutionary, had other plans. Whittemore, at almost 82 years of age, decided to take matters into his own hands. Historians have said this was not unusual at the time. While the militia company in New England ranged in age from 16 years old to 50 years old, older men, generally passionate veterans with a strong sense of patriotism and duty, acted as guerrilla fighters, fighting when they felt necessary or threatened. This was extremely common in the early stages of the Revolutionary War. Historian J.L. Bell is quoted as saying, "For most of those men, the battle was taking place close to their houses, so they viewed their actions as defending their property and their liberty." Whittemore was awakened in the early hours of the morning when he heard the regulars marching towards his farm. He leaped out of bed and grabbed his musket, dual pistols, and sword. He was ready and willing to fight his greatest enemy, even as an elderly man. The event that followed was known as one of the most unequal duels of the war. While hiding behind a small stone wall, Whittemore shot at the British Grenadiers of the 47th Regiment of Foot. He succeeded in killing 2 soldiers and gravely injured a third. However, the regulars not only outnumbered Whittemore, but were younger, more skilled fighters and had better weaponry. The old American veteran didn't stand a chance. He was shot in the face at point-blank range, struck in the head with a musket butt which knocked him to the ground, and then bayoneted 13 times in the chest and face. Even while being brutally attacked, he continued attempting to reload his musket on the ground and get back on his feet. He was left for dead by the brutal regulars. Whittemore was rushed to the nearest doctors at Cooper's Tavern, an establishment close to his home, but there was little hope to save him. The doctors expected him to die within a few hours, and they invited his relatives to come and say their final goodbyes. They said that this act of bravery would be Whittemore's last stand. However, Samuel Whittemore defied all odds. Despite a severely deformed face from the injuries he sustained in the events of April 19, 1775, he lived for another 18 years. When asked by his family if he would do anything differently regarding his encounter with the British regulars, now knowing he could have very easily lost his life, he responded with a simple phrase that exemplifies his brave character and sense of pride in the newly developing American nation. He is quoted as saying, "No, I should do just so again." Samuel Whittemore died on February 2, 1793, at 98 years old, an age unheard of at the time, and is buried in the Arlington, Massachusetts town cemetery. However, in the words of General Douglas MacArthur, old soldiers never die, they simply fade away. Whittemore lived to see the complete defeat of his greatest enemies and to witness his country, of which he was so proud, enjoy all the blessings of peace and independence. Many years after 1775, a monument was erected at the site of the battle between Whittemore and the regulars to honor his bravery and seemingly impossible feat. In 2005, the Massachusetts Senate enacted a bill calling for a proper observance of February the 3rd, the anniversary of the death of Captain Whittemore. On this day, he will be remembered as the official hero of the Commonwealth, in lasting recognition of his courage, determination, outstanding service, and unique contribution to American independence. Captain Samuel Whittemore is still recognized at the present day as the official hero of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and rightfully so, because as the bill also states, most recently, the United States has never had a braver warrior. Samuel Whittemore will forever be remembered for his great pride and service to his country, but most importantly for his courageous stand against the British on April 19, 1775. In the words of many, you can question the old soldier's tactical judgment in making the stand in the manner in which he did, but you can never question his bravery.